I went to a show way back in the day, and it was a show at Nassau Community College, and gosh, who was it? It was the Beastie Boys, and this other group that I'd never heard of was opening the show. And I'm in there with the audience, and all of a sudden the opening group shows up, and people start running. They start heading out the doors. They're going, and it was Public Enemy. And it was like they had I think they had guns, and like a military stance and everything, and people flipped out. And I thought, my God, I hung around, and it was like the greatest show I'd ever seen.
I'm Robin Laverne Wilson. We're at the Urbanworld Film Festival here in New York City. I have the honor of speaking with film director Peter Spirer. Hello, Peter. Tell us about how you feel about being in Urbanworld again.
I love coming to New York. I love being at Urbanworld. I've been here a few times, so it's always great to come back. Stacey Spikes, I think, is a wonderful program director, and I appreciate they always like my films.
Miami, what the business? I want everybody in the house to know the new single is Just Another Day on the Block. So everybody in here from the block, put your hands up for my big homie A. Mays. Yo, with Miami at holla, man. What?
Well, the film is about two different rappers on either side of the, spectrum. One is Wood Harris, who plays a character named A. Mays, who's got a couple of records out and trying to stay there, trying to stay successful. And the other one is a guy named Young Easty, played by Jamie Hector, who is trying to get his material to the bigger rapper. A lot of people think that if I can just get my CD to that big star, he'll make my life. He'll make it happen for me, and it doesn't quite work out that way.
Your gun was fired off last night.
Dude, he made a statement already.
Lots of press today.
Yeah.
Wood Harris is an extraordinary actor. When I first started this film, I had, a couple of guys of mine to play the real established rapper, and I thought I would use actually a rapper. And it's funny that a couple of guys I sent the script to turned it down. They were like, man, I don't want to play myself. I don't want to play a rapper. I'm already a rapper. And a friend of mine said, man, you got to get an actor, because every actor wants to rap, and he was right. So, having Wood Harris, who I think, I followed his career for a long time. So I heard he was interested in doing this project, and I was thrilled to death. Jamie Hector, too. What I was really intrigued is that they were both on The Wire. And they both played almost the same character on The Wire at different points in the show. And I thought it'd be a really good look to have these two guys who are at odds with one another, in the same film together.
We got to get that demo from Tyrone.
Yeah, he wanted bread, though.
When you get the money, you come holler at me. It's business. Nothing personal, bro.
Okay, we got a meeting today. It's huge. You see the kind of cats I'm rolling with right now, right? This is serious.
How you doing, man? I'm part of A. Mays' crew. I got to get this demo to you.
I started off as a filmmaker doing music videos. I didn't think that I was really that good of a video director, though. And I was really more attracted to what was happening behind the scenes of music videos and the relationships between people. That's what really compelled me to make this film called Rhyme and Reason. And I ended up selling that film to Miramax Films. Quincy Jones and his son, QD3, hired me. They loved that movie. They hired me to make a whole group of documentaries. And, I went on to make Beef, Beef 1, Beef 2, Beef 3, Thug Angel on Tupac, Notorious B.I.G., just a bunch of stuff. I love hip-hop culture. I'm like an old school guy, though. Like, I like all the, EPMD and, Big Daddy Kane, who I had in my film tonight. So I'm a little bit more old school, but, I love it.
Now, you are incredibly versatile, though you have a background and a passion for documentary. This is your second narrative. Can you tell us a little bit about what that process has been like, transferring from documentary to narrative?
Well, it's surprising, because a lot of times when I talk to people and, I tell them about my documentary background, they always ask me, when are you going to make a real movie? Because they don't consider documentaries real movies, But in actuality, a documentary, in my opinion, is a much more difficult film to make. The first time I made my first narrative film and I had a script to work with, it's incredible. You're like, okay, what the picture should be. Now it's living up to that script, whether you can take that script to the next level or not. But Documentaries are built in the editing room. There's a lot more that goes into it, and they're the moments that you struggle with to know whether they work or not.
50 Cent got huge sales off his beef with Ja Rule. Tupac, Biggie, all of it parlayed into record sales. That's the angle I'm working with.
I've taken a lot of my documentary experience and applied it to my narrative. This film, Just Another Day, has a very realistic feel to it. I allow the actors to breathe. I have the confidence to let them explore the role, and maybe bring something that I didn't expect to it.
Riffing on that documentary narrative, seems like you incorporated some of that with your cast. Some were trained actors, some were not, some were just regular real people. Can you tell me about that experience and those choices?
Well, I think two things helped, and I've shown the film to a few people who are just shocked. Like the Trick Daddy looks like an actor, and Little Scrappy looks like an actor. And these guys, Little Scrappy never acted before this film, but I had interviewed him before. Two things I did. One was I talked to them about being really present and making it happen in a very short period of time. So in other words, I told them we're not going to do a lot of takes. We're going to do very few takes, so you really have to be prepared. The other thing is that these guys are performers. So they're not really actors. They can't really sustain a performance over a period of time. But since they are performers, I felt like they could make it happen in the first couple of takes. So the other thing I did was to have two cameras shooting at all times so that I would have the coverage that I needed if they changed their body motions and that kind of stuff, so that it would all work together. But, I think that helped. I mean, I had a good plan, and fortunately the plan worked.
Who you with? Y'all ain't with nobody. I'm a rapper.
Low profile for a while.
I'm going on tour for 2 weeks. This dude's talking about a low profile.
Yo, we got this far. Ain't nothing gonna stop us.
Hey, this is Peter Spirer, and you're watching Reelblack Television.